Basically, how I got started in the industry was I was doing research in virtual reality and particle systems and dynamics at a university in Chicago. And then I received an internship working in film and special effects, and that was actually appropriate for the film that we received at the time, which was Twister. So I started working by creating giant digital tornadoes for that film several years ago. I look after how we're going to do the effects for a film, basically. So we'll take a part of the script, or we'll take the entire film, and the visual effects supervisor will work with the artist, he'll work with the director, and figure out how we're going to actually do the effects and create the director's vision through those effects. I think visual effects supervisor needs to be able to work well in teams and work with other artists because it's very collaborative. They need to be able to be visually creative because we're always trying to create new looks and something new for the audience. Technical problem solving is also really important because there's all types of challenges that come up. So on Rise of the Planet of the Apes, there was, actually we had 3 visual effects supervisors working together. I was based in Wellington, New Zealand, so I was working on starting to set up the digital effects, helping with building the apes and building all of the things we needed for that. And then we also had 2 visual effects supervisors that were on set. They were in Vancouver and San Francisco, and they were working with the director as we were filming all the footage for the film. And between that, we would collaborate back and forth through video conferences and work to get everything moving in motion at the same time. So the process for developing visual effects with the director, it can really differ depending on the director because they're each individuals and they all work in their own distinctive way. The process is we start with working with them and look at some of the art that they have developed, talk through the process of what their vision is and how we think we can go about creating that vision. And it's a collaborative process throughout the until the final film is out. We're constantly working back and forth and refining and showing the director what we've done and getting their feedback, of course, and their direction on where they want it to go. The way we integrate the feeling of the film and work with other production teams is actually the production designer and the art directors are very important to our process. They go through and work out the look of the film, and we constantly use that with reference and work back and forth with them so that everything that we're doing is conveying that same feeling. I remember on films like King Kong, where the production designer and the art directors had built an entire set of New York, we would use their props and we would constantly work with them to make sure when we were building our digital New York that we matched everything in the same sense and feeling that they were going for. Motion capture was very important in this film because one of the things that we wanted to make sure we did was that we actually filmed right there on set with the director. And the director could work with Andy Serkis, who played Caesar, work with him directly on set. He could work with the other actors. Everything could be filmed in camera, and then we would come back in later and produce the digital Caesar. It was really important for the look and the feel of the film. I think without that, it kind of removes you from the process where the effects are happening later. And it's also with some of the other sequences, like the Golden Gate sequences, we had lots of motion capture for how the apes would actually travel and rampage through the Golden Gate. The process of creating visual effects, it can depend on the size of the project. Sometimes it could be a couple months of preparing and then spending a year working on the film, or it can, for other projects, it could be 3 or 4 years of actually working on the film. I remember with films like King Kong, I spent probably about 2 years building and creating New York for that film. But with other projects, it can be shorter and it can be a quicker timeline. I think it really depends on the film. But the one thing about the visual effects process is it goes right from the beginning all the way to the end. We start with the original art direction and the original design, and then we carry it until the last shot of the film is completed. with the recent technology, it does make it a lot easier because we can have sessions with other teams and with the director where he can look at our footage, look at the recent work that we've done, give us comments, draw on the screen, do that back and forth. I mean, I remember when I first started in the industry, it was quite involved to actually have a video conference, but now it seems like things are much easier these days.